Hey guys and ladies, maybe. I've been getting some very nice comments and folks encouraging me to keep talking about this divorce thing. So I'm going to keep doing that because if I can help somebody, that's something I'm going to do. Okay, so look, bro, I think we've talked about this before, but it never changes. You have to be more, do more, see more than you may want to. Now, what does that mean? It means that every day you have to meet the challenge. And if you don't meet the challenge, give yourself some space, compassion, and get up again. Recently, my ex and I were going back and forth about Thanksgiving. Excuse me. It's an odd year, 2015, so it's my year. But she wasn't being very receptive to that. I never like getting the kids involved, the battling between us, so I tend to back off. This time I was getting a little pissy and firing off at her. And when I see my kids sad, that you might as well just stick a butter knife into my chest and start turning because that's brutal. Now you may have kids, you may not, but the principle's still the same, and that goes back to how we opened. You have to step back and say, look, what is it I really want here, and how am I going to achieve it? And I was able to do that by saying, look, what's my goal here? Well, my goal here is really not to do something, not to put my son and daughter, particularly my son because he's older, my daughter is, she's just been around longer, so a little more used to this kind of thing, but both kids. In between us, again, it's the worst. So, what am I going to get if I keep battling? Am I going to, even if I bring her to court or what have you, the timing is not going to work in my favor anyway. So, going off of what is my goal here is to have peace. So, listen, why don't I have the kids over a few days before Thanksgiving? I'll have my own meal with them, and you're welcome to come with them. An hour or so went by, and she mentioned she was having issues, personal issues. The key thing here, and a friend of mine helped me with this, I didn't take that. I'm not going to call it bait, but one may say, what's going on? Can I help? And I think the combination of those issues are now her own. They're not mine anymore. That's one decision one has to make, to just not reference that, hey, I hope you settle them, but it's not my issue anymore. Your issues are not my issues. And like a miracle, after 4 years, man, of really no holidays with the kids, much less Thanksgiving. I've talked about the first Thanksgiving I had, like Amstel lights all around me, emptied, and having to make a decision from that point, and then going to see friends at other Thanksgivings, but it's always going up to the, right up to the holiday where you're like, okay, everybody's doing something, and what am I doing? I'm at home. I need to find someplace to go. The point is not to ramble, but to say, hey, why don't we have a Thanksgiving together? I'll do everything. Now, for you, maybe you don't have kids. Maybe your ex is gone off with herself or somebody, or blowing you away, or whatever your situation is, blowing you off, not away, hopefully. The point is the same, man. You have to look at what you want to achieve here and how to get there, and And you don't want to do it. Believe me, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to extend that thing. I wanted to strike out. I didn't want to say, hey, everybody come over here. And you're invited too. Because that makes you vulnerable. But through vulnerability, I think there's strength there. So perhaps the lesson of today's rambling is, Like anything else, map out your goals to have peace. A peaceful relationship, what do you need to achieve that? Better health, what do you need to achieve that? And write it out. It doesn't mean you're going to necessarily follow it, but you'll have a better shot. And each time you do follow it, you get stronger. Now that's talk, and it's hard to really feel that right now because you're watching this, so I assume you're in a hot spot. But you got to have faith, brother. Take any activity you've done before. Some of you might be weightlifters. Some of you might be athletes. Some of you might be mathematicians. Whatever, you had to plant the seeds and then they grow over time. So you have to tap that bravery. And the way to do that is just map it out what you want to do. Okay? Write it out. Now, one thing I'd highly recommend, and we might have talked about this before, especially when you're in the hot situation, is free writing. So when you wake up, you take a pad, blank, 1 or 2 pages, and you just start writing. You do not edit it. Nobody sees this. You don't rewrite it. You simply write in handwriting. Does anybody write in handwriting anymore? Computer? I suggest handwriting. Then you throw it away or just put it in your drawer. So each morning I wake up, I write 1 or 2 pages. Again, it's just to get everything out. 1 page, 2 page. And you'd be surprised. It takes out the garbage, if you will, from your thinking. And you're able to be a little clearer. And again, our principles, of self-expression, of keeping yourself afloat. Because, look, the bad news is you're alone in this. The good news is you're alone. Now, you may have family with you, friends who are very supportive. I'm not talking about that. But at some point, they're going to go to sleep and you're going to be in bed alone. Maybe you're not alone. Maybe somebody's with you. But this element is still in you. And you need to learn how to balance that outlet with the free writing, lifting weights, friends, what have you, to take control of your life. So that's the good of it. You'll grow from doing that. Definitely helps to have friends. You need those outlets. Don't wall yourself off, There's others out there. Believe me, I got swift kicked in the nuts, man. And it's only now I'm starting to really get back on track. Yeah. More bad news. You got to ask yourself, what was your role in this? So I'm talking about taking responsibility and everything. And sure, a lot of folks out there are self-aware. We all fall into sniping. Can you believe she'd do this? Whatever. But bring it back to you. The questions matter. Why did she do this to me? Wait a minute. Why did you let her do that to you? Or what conditions did you allow to fester or be created to do this, to do this, for this to happen? Challenge yourself. I think that's really what it's about. I want to see you as a spiritual warrior. Doesn't mean you fight people. It means you confront with questions. And the questions come back at you. When we point, there's always a finger pointing back at yourself. I could bitch and moan about what happened, but you know what? I created the conditions that this happened in, and I need to learn from it. I know some other things about myself that I'll share when I'm more comfortable, but I'm not going to do that right now. But they're not earth-shattering, so you don't have to worry about that. But no, it's the takeaway from this, perhaps, I think, is you're not alone. I'm here for you, and I'm challenging you to just give me once the decision in line with your strategy that you know will work. In other words, if you're angry at the person or somewhere in your life that has been impacted by this divorce or separation or stressful situation, take a breath, free write, just step back and do one little thing differently instead of snapping and reacting. And just as snapping and reacting creates its own momentum, not doing it does as well. And remember, people may be saying nasty things or pushing you because that's how they operate. They don't know any better, or they get what they want from doing that. So it's not always a personal thing. It's like a strategy. So you need to have your own strategy. You need to challenge yourself. And the way to do that is through questions. What questions are you asking? Okay, so that's a little bit of rambling, and I'm a bit fried, but I wanted to get something up because folks have been asking for it, and if I can do anything to help you, I'll do that. Okay, so until next time, take the challenge, my friends.